You and I with Rashmi Shetty is a simple attempt of bringing in stories of people you and I can draw inspiration from. Ordinary folks, extraordinary lives. Their uniqueness and individuality that make them interesting to talk to and to listen to. A reaffirmation of the fact, open your eyes wider, the world is far more beautiful when we acknowledge the presence of both you and I. At a time when generally people hang up their boots as they are done and dusted into retirement, our guest found himself. He became an art teacher by default. It was a great revelation and discovery, he says. His hobby over the years brought him name, fame, but he chose not to commercialize it because, as he likes to describe himself, I'm a happy and contented man who feels blessed. An ardent admirer of Lata Mangeshkar, Mr. Sheshadri Mokshgundam was born in 1949, the year that Lata Mangeshkar's journey as a successful singer began. His journey with vintage music, blending seamlessly into art, began after his retirement, a journey he discovered because his students helped him find himself. Passionate about vintage melodies, he is also a moderator and scripts comparing material for TV and live programs. His joy is palpable when he shares his youngest student is 5 years while his oldest is 80 plus. He enjoys this entire range as much as he enjoys teaching those from the economically weaker section and those on the autism spectrum. Mr. Sheshadri is a rare combination of humility, knowledge, and talent that is so hard to find today. Listen in as he shares his journey, special moments of meeting the Nightingale herself. Life, definitely, he shows, is how you live it. Inspirational for sure. Mr. Sheshadri Mokshgundam, such an honor to have you on this podcast. I have always been admiring the way you carry yourself, the humility which so naturally comes to you. It was something that surprised me when I read in a events page in the newspaper where you were described as a walking, talking encyclopedia on Lata Mangeshkar, that I was like, oh my God, I had no clue. And you are so humble in appreciating me every time we have met on the show. So I want to know your journey from the little Sheshadri to the Sheshadri the world sees now. And I'm also curious to know your love for Lata Mangeshkar and how you decided to become an encyclopedia around her. So wherever you want, however back you want, please take us on your journey. I'm eager to walk along with you, sir.
Thank you, Rashmi, for that lovely introduction that you've given. You know, I've been a great admirer of yours. Every time I met you on the show, I used to always admire you for the endearing language that you have, which you could easily trap everybody in the audience. Okay, I was one of them. I always used to admire your skills of the words that you throw, and then you make yourself so dear to. Every time I was in the audience, I would think that Rashmi is addressing me. That was the kind of thing I used to get. Okay, and then now when you coming back to my journey, I think when I look back, I always feel that it wasn't planned, it just happened. Okay, I come from a very orthodox middle class traditional family, and both my parents were deep into music, and that's how all the siblings, we are all interested in music. My father was very great admirer of traditional Carnatic classical music, but my mother was little different. She loved semi-classical, light music, and film music. And Sai Girl, Pankaj Malik, Kanan Bala were all her favorites. So I used to listen to her stories of her childhood, how she got interested into music, and she would a lot of stories she had, and all those anecdotes and trivia. I would think, oh my God, they're so precious, and over a period of time, all these will be lost. I was thinking, and this is way back in 55, 56. Okay, so computer was not even thought of. I had never even dreamt of something like this that I would face in my life at this stage. Okay,
True,
so
true.
I thought these are all very, very precious information which I have to store, and that's how the whole thing started. And I would make a note of every little thing that she says, and then she would be a vivid listener of Vivid Bharati. And at that time, whenever KL Saigal song came, she would be waiting for that, and she would give some information about it. I would just make a note of it. Okay, for me at that age, I thought these are all the precious information that we lose over a period of time, because with fond memories when she used to talk, I'm sure I would also be in my sunset years, I'll be talking like this, I thought. So I didn't want any information to go, fade away from my memory. So I just started making note of it. That's the time I heard Lata Mangeshkar. Okay, it was in 55, 56, I think. I'm 49 born. Somehow that the quality of her voice, the tonal quality, and the melody and the music appealed to me at that age. I didn't know anything about Hindi at those days. And much later, because of this, I learned Hindi. I used to talk to people and get meanings of some of the words. And that later on, I started appreciating the lyrical beauty of whatever songs that she rendered. And one time I heard, you know, people saying that she became very popular in 1949, okay, with her Uthai Jaun Ke Sitam. And then later, the second one was Zid, the Mahal number, Aayega Aane Wala. So I was born in 49 and she became popular in 49. So there must be some cosmic connection, I thought. It was maybe it's very, at that age, maybe it was very immature, or I was so fascinated by her voice, I was very, willing to accept that it was a cosmic connection. Okay. I just fell in love with her voice. I used to follow all her songs, and you won't believe my school and college notebooks, last pages. I used to always scribble down whenever I heard any song on the radio, that which film it is from and who has written and which song. In my own way, I used to document everything. That's how I started my journey as a Lata Mangeshkar fan. And those were the days when the families like us had no access to the glossy film magazines, and there were no film documents available to us. It was not accessible. So it was sometime in 60s. I used to, whenever I saw some clippings in the newspaper about Lata Mangeshkar, I started cutting and preserving it. Then little later from the magazines, and in my friends circle, they all came to know that I'm a great fan of Lata Mangeshkar. Whatever they would lay their hands on, they were finding in the papers or the magazines, they would promptly cut it and give it to me. That's how my collection started. And as days go by, years pass by, I became a great admirer of hers, and I started listening to each and every song of hers. And this led to not just Lata Mangeshkar. I just became a big fan of the Hindi film music as such. She was the reason for me to become a fan of Hindi film music. I started following all the lyricists, all the composers, and some of the actors and things like that. And that's how my journey started. It was my ambition. I don't know, maybe it was, it started with infatuation, but I thought she was somebody who is very enigmatic at that age. And later on, I tried to get as much information as possible. And much later, when I could afford, I just bought some books on her and started reading about it. And every day, a part of my daily schedule was dedicated to Lata Mangeshkar. Okay. I started collecting all the special editions which celebrated her 25 years of singing career, or her 50th birthday, or 50 years of singing career. Like this, I started, my collection started piling up.
Mm.
I just, this, and all my relatives and friend circle, I became popular, saying that I'm the fan of the great Nightingale. That's how my journey started. And much later, about 5, 6 years back, when there was a program in Bangalore, Lata Forever, it
Mm.
was Nagesh Siddhanti to whom I used to talk about this subject. He made me display all my materials. I digitized all of them, I made them into posters, and there was an exhibition in Chaudaya in connection with that particular program. And Sheshadri became widely known in the music lover circle. This is my journey of as a fan of Lata Mangeshkar, and it was my ambition to meet her, which was very, very that it was chasing a dream a little tougher, I thought, but it happened. It was
Oh.
in 1991. It happened. There was a program in Bangalore. Uh, that was the first and the only program where Lata has
Mm.
presented a program. It was a live show in Kantirava Stadium. It
Mm.
was 1st of December 1991.
Mm.
So happened because I was known as a fan of Lata Mangeshkar. The RPG group, which hosted that program in Bangalore, called me to be one of the committee members. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more. So I just jumped with joy, and then I thought it was a divine design that I was made to be a part of that program. And I just couldn't believe myself that I was a part of that program. When Lataji came to Bangalore, I was, I even today I feel it. The whole thing is like a dream. I just met her, and then there was a rehearsal in the Windsor Manor, and next day, that same evening, there was a sound check program at Kantiva Stadium. I just, in fact, I pinched myself to make sure that it was not a dream. It was so uh, memorable, unforgettable experience in my life. The way she checked the sound system, and then the way she approved the whole thing, and the way she went about the whole program. My God, what a meticulous artist she was. And whatever I had read, it was no exaggeration. She was true and much beyond what I had read about her. She was so humble, so simple. She, even for the practice, she left her slippers away from the dais, and then she stepped onto these things, stood in front of the mic, and the respect and the reverence she commanded was something amazing. All the musicians, the instrumentalists, they were all just relaxed, and they were having a chat. The moment she entered the hall, you should see the way they reacted to Lata Didi. It was not something which was commanded. It came from their heart. They just have respect for that legend. So these are the little things that I observed. And then Harish Bhimani was the moderator for the evening, and Nand Mohali was the conductor for the orchestra, and Roger Drago was the sound engineer for that event. And these things are so very strongly etched in my memory. And even if I just close my eyes, the whole thing comes in front of my mind. It was an experience which I can never ever forget, and for which I feel that there's some divine design which blessed me with that particular incident. And the next day was something more interesting. Okay, she had a breakfast meeting with the chief minister. Then I think it was uh, I don't remember who it was. She had a
Mm.
breakfast meeting, and then Bangarappa, I think
Mm.
Mr. Bangarappa was there. And then she was accompanied by Sanjeev Kohli, that's Madan Mohan's son, and Usha Mangeshkar. Okay, they were there. And suddenly I get a call from the organizers, the RPG group, saying that Lataji wants to visit one old Shiva temple, which is very popular in Bangalore. Can you do something about it? Can you arrange something? I just jumped with joy. Immediately I rushed to Gavi Gangadhar. I was given only 2 hours time. Gavi Gangadhareshwara temple in Basvanagudi. I went to talk to the priest that somebody is coming and is it okay? They said yes. And then immediately, those are the days when we did not have the cell phones and things like that. I just came home and then called my, people in the G, and then they said they'll, as soon as they start from the chief minister's office, I would get a phone call and then to rush to the temple. So I was just waiting for that call, and the call came. And by the time they came from the chief minister's residence, I was there at the temple entrance, received her. And this is something which was closer, more than the Kandirva Stadium encounter. This was something which I really cherished. And Madan Mohan is another great legend whom I respected. And Madan Mohan was also there with her. And Madan Mohan and Lata Mangeshkar team was something very, very close to my heart.
Magical.
And meeting Madan Mohan's son also on the same occasion was something which I couldn't have asked for anything more in my life, I thought. So I spoke to Kohli, and then I spoke to Lataji. I wanted to talk to her so many things. I had rehearsed all my, just no words came out of me. I was so speechless. Okay, I stood next to her. I said, I just grew up listening to your songs, and I'm so blessed to Lord Shiva that he made me talk to you in front of the divine presence, I said. And then there was a ticket of the entry ticket of the previous program, which I had carried. I made her sign at the back of it, and which I, preserved it, carefully. This is and then there was a special puja which was arranged, and she gave her birth star as Aslisha, and there was the Archana was done in that Nakshatra Reem, and I was standing just behind her, and then did the 3 pradakshina around the temple. This is, as a fan of Lata Mangeshkar, I think this is the biggest blessings and that I was bestowed with, and I can never ever forget this. I never ever dreamt that I would be meeting her in such close quarters. This made me a bigger fan of hers. It came closer to my heart, and then this is every time I talk about it, I become very emotional.
It's pretty evident how you revisited the whole memory. Like while you were telling it and sharing it also, the visuals were very, very, very stark for me while listening to the story. So you are an awesome storyteller, I should tell you that. And that fanboy in you was completely alive when you were sharing this story.
And look at the coincidence or the divine design, I would call it. The way I was made to meet her. Something, there's so many millions of fans of hers all around the globe. But I could get this chance, means I was really blessed with something very special, I thought.
And what a beautiful way to culminate it at the temple. So lovely memory, Mr. Sheshadri. It's so beautiful when you were sharing this, because everyone has people they admire, and but not everyone gets to meet them and meet them at such a personal level. So I think you definitely are blessed. I'm now curious to know about Sheshadri the person. Obviously, from the way you spoke about your mother and how everything she said you started noting down, it was very evident you shared a very special bond with your mother. And what about your childhood? How was it? What exactly were your interests beyond Lata Mangeshkar? Because I want to come back to Lata Mangeshkar in a while, but I'm curious to know about you.
It was when I look back, I think music was the bond in the family. I had a very close bond with my parents because of the music. Though I inclined more towards the film music, but that's the one which connected me with my mother. Okay, And then this led to understand the music to a deeper level. I started admiring lyricists like Sahir, Kaifias Nisab, and Shailendra, and then composers like uh, Jaidev, and then Vasant Desai, C. Ramchandra, S.D. Burman, and all. I just grew up with all these legends that made my the school days and college days very, very beautiful. I don't think my life would have been so beautiful without these in my memories and the music that I enjoyed at that time. Yeah. Okay. And then my other hobby was the sketching. Okay. I always used to love drawing and sketching. Okay. It was just a hobby. I was not trained. I didn't go to any formal training, any school. So it was just for my own liking. I was passionate about sketching, and this I parallelly developed along with my love for music.
So, what inspires you? Because this is a complete artist, where your sketching journey along with this. So, does it inspire you when you listen to a particular song to come out with a sketch, or do colors start playing when music plays in the background? How is it with you, Mr. Sheshadri? How you look at pictures and you draw? Are you an inspired artist? How do you get your art out? Because your art pieces are also awesome.
Yeah, I'm an inspired artist. My concept is totally different. Okay. The music was the soothing part, which brings my mind to get into action with art. Okay. I need music all the time, especially when I paint or sketch. There should be something in the background that sets the mind for me to do the sketching. Okay. So music is a very important tool for me to proceed with my brush and colors. That automatically gives me the mood, the required mood to go ahead with my artworks. And the great masters, whenever I see their works, whether they are European Renaissance time or the Indian artists, I see some music in their works. Those colors, that the spectrum of colors talk to me in the form of music. So that's how I see each painting, each work. I see some music. I'm sure all those artists have got some kind of some soft, mind tuned towards such finer feelings in their life, with which they have come out with some of the best works, I feel, because the colors and the ragas are so intertwined, I feel. Though it cannot be so abstract, it cannot be explained, but they play a very, very important role on your mind so that you come out with your best. Just like you make me feel comfortable when I talk to you, those are the things which make me comfortable when I do sit down for painting.
That's such a beautiful blend of art and music that you just described, Mr. Sheshadri. So, if I ask you now to describe Mr. Sheshadri Mokshgundam, how would you describe yourself?
I would like to describe myself as a very simple person, because both art and music, it's a very, very vast field. It's like an ocean. I'm just a drop in that big ocean. Even if I take 3 more janmas, I don't think I'll be able to ever say that I have perfected this. It's such a vast field. But whatever little I have achieved is a very, very insignificant part as far as I'm concerned. There's so much more to do, I feel. So I would like to be, it's really a humbling experience for me to be in both these fields. That's how I want Sheshadri to be, considered as a very simple person who is on the path of achievement. Okay, you can say that. And whatever little I have done has given me a lot of satisfaction, both in both the fields. See, in this is a very, very competitive field. And if you have to make a mark in it, at least somewhere you're being able to do something which has been recognized. That is where I really feel humble about it. Okay. I've been able to compare many programs. I've been able to be a part of many big legends participating in some of these live shows. And I've done the scripting for many of the TV shows, many where they have, all the film music connected programs. I've done the scripting for them. And these are the things which gives me a lot of satisfaction. And even now, every month, there is a program called Nostalgia for a senior citizens forum. Okay. Every third Friday, I conduct a program for them called Nostalgia. It is a 1.5 hour program where I share some of the anecdotes and trivia from my collection, and then it is interlaced some of the songs. And I have got two very good singers in the group, and some of the male voices I attempt to sing. I'm not a good singer, but I used to sing in my college days. But even now, I love to sing Hemant Kumar and Talat numbers, and it really drives me back to those beautiful golden era of music. This is where I draw some satisfaction. And in the field of art, by default, I became an art teacher some years back. After my retirement, I really wanted to do something relaxed with music and art. And it so happened that in the locality where I live, Banshankari Second State, there's a school which is run by one of my very close friends. She had organized one inter-school drawing and painting competition. She invited me to be a judge. And at the end of the program, I was supposed to give a small talk to the parents and also some of the aspiring artist students. So, the two prize-winning students who had taken first and the second place, they came to me. They said, we need guidance from you. We haven't gone through any formal training. Will you be able to guide us? I told them I'm in the same boat because I have also not gone through any training. I've just done on my own. I don't mind guiding you and giving you the tips. And that's how it started, my journey as an art teacher. So on Sundays, I would just talk to them for about 1.5 hours. And then the two little girls who came to me, they were so happy, and the word spread like anything. And by word of mouth, the two students became 5 students, 5 became 7, 7 became 10, and it started growing. And then I used to teach them upstairs in our family room. Then I had to remodel the garage and the front area in my house, converted that into a school, art school, and I started taking children in 3 batches. And today I have about 167 students. It just grew like that. It's by accident or by default, I became a teacher. And though I'm not formally trained, those are the students who taught me how to teach. Okay, by teaching them, I learned a lot in this field. That is where another humbling experience in my life. And they're all doing so well. And it's not a commercial venture for me. I just started it as a passion. I love teaching, and I started loving. In the beginning, I was quite scared to teach because I hadn't had any formal training. So when I started teaching, I was also a little scared. I used to do a lot of homework as to how to make a syllabus for them and teach them. And then gradually I started, liking it. I became a passionate teacher, and they started liking me. And that's how another satisfying part of my journey was started. Okay. And today I have very aspiring students who become very, very good in their field. And it was very satisfying for me, especially when I taught some of the autistic children, because autism and they go together. So some of the doctors, I talked to some of the doctors who were treating those patients. I took them as students. It was another very
how did you even think of autistic kids and art, sir? Did somebody tell you? Did the parents approach you, or you heard?
One of the students who was coming to me had an artistic brother. Okay, then when she went home, when she was practicing at home, that child took to it. So I took interest in this, and then the mother came with a lot of hesitation. She came and asked me, "Is it possible for me to enroll my son who is not normal?" I said, "I haven't tried so far, but I would like to
Mm.
attend." And that's how it started. The moment that the child came to me, it was going to a special school.
Mm.
Two other parents came to me.
Mm.
Then I said, I must have a special section for them, and started teaching them on Saturday afternoons. It gave me a lot of satisfaction.
A passion that soon turned by word of mouth into a space where everyone who is coming there is coming to learn. And then comes this special section that you have started. What is it about art that you realized you are finding about yourself when you are dealing, especially with these special children?
This is something which is to do with your mind.
Mm, true.
Just like, it's also for the teacher and the taught both.
Mm,
For particular moment for the artistic kids,
mm,
it's some kind of a meditation for them.
mm,
They try to dabble with colors, and sometimes they're not all of them are very good, but some of them they pick up skills and become very good. I have 3 students who are doing so well. They went into graphic training and
okay.
all. They are
Mm,
employed today. That is the moment of satisfaction for me. The
mm,
others, they did so well in their workshop, and their teachers called me and congratulated me.
mm,
It was so satisfying for me.
mm, mm, mm,
And then this led to my being a member of the autism club here, where they have annual um, cultural events and competitions. I go there as a judge for them, and it is again a divine design that I'm drawn into all these things, which has given a different meaning in my life. Okay. Which, and these were not planned, as I said. These are all things that happened by, I don't know, by God's grace, or it finally resulted in satisfaction and gave some definition to my life, I feel. And I also teach the auto rickshaw and the cab drivers' children, and some of the maid servants' children. Okay, this is again another uh, beautiful experience that I'm going through. It is so nice. It is art, unfortunately, is considered as something luxury which not everybody can afford, especially the servant class and these people, middle class. For them to make both ends meet itself is a big challenge. They can't have indulge in art. So for
true.
them to teach them free is something really, really satisfying. What little I know, I've been able to share with them, that makes me very satisfied, at the same time emotional.
What role does music play in the midst of all of this? Does your background have the old Hindi songs while
Yeah,
you're teaching?
yeah. In the class, it's there always. And some of my senior students, they say they just cannot do any painting without the music. So now it's become an addictive feature in the class. It's music in the background and drawing and painting in the class. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
drawing, painting, and you use all mediums like water, oil, everything? Or
Not much of water,
Hmm?
oils and acrylics and pencils. Pencils.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a particular playlist in your art classes, or just
Uh,
anything from the golden era, please?
from the golden era, only from the golden era, because that is something which all these youngsters have not heard, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
some of them have started liking it, and they've when they start playing this at home, their parents are also very much interested, and they 2 3 parents called me and then thanked me for introducing this music. When we here in the house, they don't listen. Now that they're coming to the class and listening to this golden era, it's such a nice feeling for us that our children are started liking that the music of the yesteryears, they tell me. So these are the things which really brings me some kind of a different meaning and satisfaction, and my I don't know, somewhere I feel that I've achieved something. That sense of satisfaction comes to me.
I completely am with you, sir, because I remember now my son is 25, but when he was 11 and 12 years old, I used to be an RJ with FM Rainbow. And I used to play these old Hindi songs. My show was called Meethi Yadein, which was all about old Hindi songs. And there was this, I'm a huge die-hard Rafi fan.
Oh, okay.
And Suhani Raat Dal Chuki is one of my favorite songs.
So
So,
soothing. Very, very
yeah,
soothing.
very soothing. So it is, when we did the promo for Meethi Yadein, that was one of the songs that played in the promo. So my son, by default, just listening to my shows, got that particular song. So one day he said, and he would always say, I don't like old Hindi songs. They're so boring. They're so boring. One day he was sleeping with a severe stomach ache. And in the room, I had just put the whole playlist on, and Suhani Raat ended up being one of the songs that was playing. And I was doing something else. And by the time the song got over, he came to me and he said, Amma, this is such a lovely song. I'm not ashamed to say that Suhani Raat Dal Chuki is one of my favorite songs. My stomach pain has vanished. So I feel there's magic in that music, especially of the 40s and 50s and 60s maybe, where these today's children are not introduced because radio and in every form doesn't cater to that particular genre of music and age of music. So when somebody like you plays that in the background, don't younger kids tell you, sir, can we listen to something else, or we don't want that song, or they don't have a choice, they just come and quietly sit?
They don't have a choice. Some of them have started liking it. Not all of them like it, but you need a special ear to appreciate music. But many of them have taken to it. Very few of them have not.
Have they given you feedback? Like, can we listen to something?
They have. They say, if I don't, for some time, when I did not have a music, they said, where is the music system, sir? We need the music. Ask for it. Okay. So this is another interesting story I would love to share with you. I have a grandson who is 2.5 years old. So when he was born, they live in the US. I went there to do the grandparenting. Okay. It's a very, very interesting phase of my life. So I used to spend a lot of time with him. So when I wanted to make him to sleep, I started singing Doanken Barahat lullaby. Okay. And in 2-3 minutes, he would sleep. My daughter got amazed. My God, Appa, you are so good in making him sleep so fast. And how do you do it? I said, I just use this song. Then it became a routine. He became so addictive to that Me Gaun Tu Soja. It became an anthem in the house, and my son-in-law started liking my daughter. It became a part of their playlist. And then every night, my grandson Dhruv would sleep only to that song. So this is another thing which I have, it's become contagious, and I infected them with holding talk.
No, that's so true. I think it's something about the music then. And now taking you back to Lata Mangeshkar and the music of those times, you shared how you felt when you met Lata Mangeshkar in person. But to become such a die-hard fan of Lata Mangeshkar, what is it, if today I ask you about her voice and the way she sang, because she came at a point when there were more thicker voices, and Lata Mangeshkar in 1949 was that thin voice that Hindi music hadn't heard. So the likes of Noor Jahan and Shamshad Begum, and in the midst of that came a very thin, absolutely thin voice. So you were drawn to Lata Mangeshkar because she was the first voice you heard, or there was something about the voice in the midst of the other voices that made it different? Have you ever given that a thought?
Yeah, I see. Shamshad Begum, Noor Jahan, Soraya were all there, her predecessors. They had a different kind of a voice throw, and they were heavy. Okay. And she brought in that change. Okay. And somehow that it was, though it was rejected earlier as a thin voice by Subodh Mukherjee, but she really had to prove that she could be melodious, because of the Ziddi number and the Mahal number. That
Yes.
she really proved that she had all the promising features of a nightingale. It was very thin and it was very difficult for people to accept because they were all used to that kind of a voice. But
Correct.
she really made that change, and she became an accepted voice, especially after Aayega Aane Wala. Okay. And, it's a sheer quality which it became a delight for all the composers to try her voice on, and it was very, very successful for all of them, even the singer, the lyricist and the composers. She became a much wanted voice. Yeah, it was a welcome change, and I think people also needed change. And just like she quit the scene when people wanted change. Yeah.
And was it because your mother was a fan of Lata Mangeshkar that the voice drew to you, or was it that you were just drawn to the melodious voice?
I was just drawn. My mother was a great fan of Kanan Bala and others.
Okay.
Tufan Mail. She always used
to
sing
yeah. That was a very popular song. Yes. And do you remember the first Lata Mangeshkar song you ever heard?
I remember the Uthaye Ja Unke Sitam.
Okay.
That is a number that is my first one. But I fell in love with the Mahal number later.
Okay.
My interest became deeper after I heard the Mahal number.
Okay. And over the years, what is it about Lata Mangeshkar that she ruled the roost for such a long time? What is it about her? I'm asking a fan, so I know it's going to be a biased opinion, but I'm asking this from a die-hard fan because there should be a reason why your loyalty never shifted.
It is the perfection in rendering, and very, the diction and the feelings were so good that I could, when she was singing, I could easily make out that it was for a Nutan or a Sadhana, or it was Meena Kumari or Nimi. That was a kind of voice. Maybe, as you said, it's a biased one because I just had, some kind of a infatuation which grew into my passion towards her voice. Okay.
Yeah. And other than Madan Mohan, who do you think as a music director drew the best out of Lata Mangeshkar?
See, Roshan brought out the best, and some of the Naushad numbers, and Jaidev, Sriram Chandra, and her last few records which I really loved was Hridaynath Mangeshkar's the Lekin number.
Yeah.
And Ravindra Jain or Ek Radha Ek Meera. That was that brought out the best in her. After that, it was slowly fading, in her quality because age was catching up with the voice.
Yes. Yeah. And how did it feel for a fan like you to listen to her in Veer Zara?
Veer Zara. Veer Zara is something very special because of Madan Mohan's
Madan Mohan, yeah.
Madan Mohan's tunes are always very, very endearing, and it's very, very close to my heart. I keep in constant touch with his son Sanjeev.
Okay?
Yeah. So it's got a very special place in my heart. So Veer Zara is very close to me.
No, because I remember when I had met Sanjeev Kohli, he had said that life came a full circle with Veer Zara. When because till then, when Baba was alive, not very famous actors, heroes and heroines lip sync.
Banners for her, yes.
Yeah. And it was such a beautiful way life gave it back when Veer Zara had Amitabh Bachchan, Hema Malini, Shah Rukh Khan and Preeti Zinta lip sync the music. And so for him, he said when he went to the International Film Festival in France and everyone was like, Tere liye, he said, Baba, wherever you are, Ye tere liye. So I remember when I had met him over an interview on All India Radio. This was a very beautiful story that he had shared. So Lata Mangeshkar came back because Yash Chopra felt that nobody can justify a Madan Mohan tune like Lata Mangeshkar can.
So
So,
when I heard Tere Liye, it's a very, very emotional experience for me. The Tere Liye, I think she's singing only to Sheshadri. That is how I okay. That Tere Liye is loaded with feelings for me. Okay.
Yeah, and the way she sings it, each Tere Liye is kind of different.
Yes, yes, very true. Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So I know a difficult question. I know it's going to be very hard on you, but if there are three songs that you feel you will play for somebody who's not very aware of Lata Mangeshkar or doesn't like her very much, what are the top three songs that you would suggest you must listen to this to understand what Lata Mangeshkar in her element is?
And that's a very, very difficult question to choose three songs from so many that I love.
Yeah.
I'll start with Mahal because that's the one which really impressed me and drawn me towards her voice. And then next is Madan Mohan's Unpad number, Hey Si Me Pyare Ki Aburu. Okay. Then Ravi Shankar's Anuradha, Savare. Okay. These three I could immediately think of. There are many, many more. Jaydev's compositions and S.T. Burman and Roshan, there are many more. I'll be doing a lot of injustice to all those legendary composers, but offhand I've just given these three, okay?
Yeah, sure.
I started my journey with Lata Mangeshkar. So these are the three which I really...
Okay, and you told us very early on that you met her, you had her so close next to you in the temple, but you were so speechless, you didn't ask anything. If today you get a chance to meet her, what is that one question you'd like to ask her, Mr. Sheshadri?
I'm sure even now if I meet her, I'll be as speechless as that occasion. Yeah, definitely that. And then I would I really thank her for being there in my life, which made my life more meaningful, because life without music, and especially for me without Lata's music, would have been a very, very big meaningless life for me. I would just definitely thank her from the bottom of my heart for being there. And I'm so glad that I'm a contemporary, of Lataji.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And as you are thinking on those moments, I would also like you to take a step back, look at your entire journey so far, and give us 3 life lessons that you have taken from life.
3, be very positive in life. That is very important. By being positive, that leads you to have a patience with everything. And you try to accept things that you cannot change. You have to be positive in life, otherwise you cannot achieve. Stop complaining in life. There are many more who have got bigger problems and bigger miseries in life. If you stop complaining, you'll start appreciating life, okay? And always have some hobby to fall back on. They are the stress busters. It can be anything, either reading a book or chess playing or any other activity like sewing or knitting or needlecraft or painting. You must develop some hobby for you to fall back on, because it's so important in these stressful times. You must have some de-stressing tools with you. Okay, that's very important.
Okay, just as we leave, sir, the pandemic in the last 1.5 years has thrown everyone out of gear, in the sense life took a U-turn in a different way. And all of us went into contemplation, wondering what happened. So since you have seen so much more of life, What is it that the pandemic has taught you? Anything specific?
Uh, I have discovered myself, I feel, because I've, I've been an extremely busy person all along. I didn't want to change my lifestyle for anything. Even this pandemic, I've been extremely busy. I spend 4 hours every day painting, 2 hours of listening to music, and 2 hours of reading. Okay. I
Okay.
religiously do that. I never would like to say I'm bored. I never would like to. I just would like to enjoy my life to the fullest. I would like to be as busy as possible. And for that, you have to be very healthy, which I religiously do. I would like to live for long in a very healthy life, enjoying my music and dabbling with colors and brushes.
And have your classes moved online, sir?
Some of them, for the senior citizens, it has become online. Every day they send their pictures and then get my opinion and then input for them to proceed further. I've been able to do a lot of commission jobs myself during this free time. I would like to tell you here, art should be affordable according to me. So I do a lot of reproduction works of great masters, whether it's Indian or European artists. See, it should not be very expensive, prohibitively priced for people who love art. A great master's work in a studio or in a gallery, if it costs over 40 to 50,000, I would like to give it to them for 10,000. I make a lot of these great masters work like Ravi Verma and then many of the European artists. Art is my motto. Okay, I just would like everyone, art should reach everyone's home. Whoever loves art, they should be able to enjoy it without being relatively priced. That's my goal. I've been doing a lot of these jobs of the great masters. I've done. I don't know if you have seen my paintings. You would have seen. I've done the Last Supper also.
Yes, I did see that. It's beautiful, really beautiful.
Many of the Renaissance time artists, they're all very, very reasonably priced. Nothing should exceed 10 to 15,000, according to me. Okay, there are many people who would like to have a great painting in their living rooms, which they cannot afford. I don't want that to happen. I want everyone to afford art. That's my goal. And anybody who has any liking for any particular thing, please give them my contact. I'm always ready to do any job for them. Okay.
There is a beautiful quote that I read a long time back by Julie Andrews, where she says, music and arts make a bridge across this world in ways that nothing else can. And I think you have shown us how beautifully this bridge can be built and used day in and day out. Thank you so much, Mr. Sheshadri Mokshgundam, for your time. Pleasure and honor hosting you on You and I with Rashmi Shetty.
Thank you so much. I too equally enjoyed my talk with you. It was so inspiring for me. I'm sure you've given me a lot of strength to proceed further in both the fields, music and art.
Stay blessed and healthy, sir. And may you continue to inspire those around you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to you. Thank you.
Same here. With that, we come to the end of this weekly quest of You and I with Rashmi Shetty. Do let us know if you know people who make the world beautiful. Write in to rashmi.thethirdeye@gmail.com. That is rashmi.thethirdeye@gmail.com. Come, let's explore this amazing world together, both you and I.